Karate Kid there.
That's my woo-saw. Hey, everybody. That is my cue to start talking to you. And if I'm loud in your ears, that's because I'm excited. This is American Car Classics Radio Podcast. You're tuning in because you want to see what we're going to talk about this week, and we appreciate it so much. My name is Kenny Schofield. This is Chris Couch. Behind the scenes, as always, is Bryce Shanka. And we sure do appreciate you all for tuning in each and every week or finding us on the internet like you've done today. Sure do appreciate it.
Absolutely. Before we get started, we wanted to reach out to our viewers and say thank you very much for coming back. We are a small YouTube channel, if you haven't noticed, and we are trying to grow. If you can tell, we've changed the studio up a little bit. We got some signs. We got a hood here. So we're going to be doing more and more as we continue to grow. And we ask that you continue to come back and support us. Hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you didn't like. Tell us what you want to hear, what you don't want to hear. We're here for you. And so we'd ask that you just be with us. While we are a small podcast, we're not new.
No, we're not new. Chris, I've been doing this show. It was inception 11 and a half years ago out of Vero Beach, Florida. We were actually on local radio from West Palm Beach, Florida, all the way up to Melbourne, which is mid-Brevard County. We've been doing this for 11 years, like I said, on the radio, and then COVID hit. Chris, it changed the whole game on everything. What it did was it took our substation away, and we eventually left that contract with the radio station. And at that point, we didn't know how long COVID anything was going to be, so we went podcast, and I think that's where we have kind of been since, not knowing 100% on what we're going to do next. You've come in here last few months.
Yeah,
decided to join me in this crazy
fun
debacle that we're doing. But we have a lot of history. We have a lot of videos out there, a lot of stuff to go back and look and all that. As Chris mentioned, we're trying to change things up, and what we're doing is we're taking suggestions from y'all because we're only visited by the people on the interweb. So you are our bosses. So tell us what you want to see, what you want to have happen, like that frame that just fell off my lap. So remember, like Chris said, comment. Just share with us what you want to do, what you want to see, what you want to hear. We love talking cars. We do tech talk. We try to answer questions on every kind of automotive product that there is. I own an automotive repair shop called Dolphin Auto. So we do everything new. We do full collision. We also do full restorations. And that is because we're gearheads. Chris doesn't work at the company. He has his own life and job, but he's a gearhead, and he's come in to try to help us make this thing a little bit funner, a little bit better, if funner's the word. And so we are just trying to grow with you all.
Yep. Please support us, man. We're here for you, man.
Yeah, it takes us to do that. So with that said, I guess, Bryce, we're going to jump right into a guest. We've got Stephen Proctor on the line, and Stephen's going to come on, and he's going to talk to us about a thing that you probably don't know much about, but it's called Folds of Honor. I learned about this from one of my customers, Bill Dickinson, who came in and introduced me to Stephen. And, well, let's bring Stephen on and say hello. Stephen, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, right on. Hope you're doing well with everything else. This Fields of Honor, my plaque that I got this year from Bill simply says that since 2007, the Folds of Honor have carried forth this singular noble mission to provide educational scholarships for spouses and children of America's fallen and disabled service members. That is an incredible thing to do, Stephen. I'm proud of that. I appreciate it. Tell me a little bit about this foundation.
The Folds of Honor was founded in 2007, and as you say, the mission of it is basically to give kids whose parents have served this nation and been either fallen or disabled in battle an opportunity to get a leg up with a college education and a scholarship. And over that time, they've given out more than 52,000 college scholarships. So I happen to be involved in a local organization known as Golf Brevard. I'm the chairman of this nonprofit, and we manage Spessard Holland Golf Course in Melbourne Beach, as well as habitat across the causeway there in Valcaria. Every year in the fall, this year it's on November 9th, we host a tournament for the Folds of Honor. We provide the golf course for free and the staff of the golf course for free all day, so that every penny raised can be given to the Folds of Honor. And we've been doing this over an extended period of time with, as you mentioned, Bill Dickinson earlier. Bill is an amazing guy.
Yeah.
He works like a dog all year round to bring the Space Coast together in support of this event. It's been unbelievable the way that the Space Coast has responded to this particular issue, you know, helping the children of veterans. Veterans is a issue that really resonates here along the Space Coast, I think. And each of the last several years, we've gotten, our small golf course has gotten $50,000 for the Folds of Honor from this one event in November. And a lot of that is through people like you, Kenny, honestly, you know, who put up $200 to buy a sign that we put on the golf course advertising their business, or just themselves personally. I buy one for my wife and I. And, you know, in lots of small contributions like that and some very large supporters, you know, we've the Space Coast just really turned out for this. And so I just wanted to come on and make your listeners aware of the opportunity to get behind it, as so many of their, you know, fellow citizens have done.
Yeah, I love that. I was a Sea Cadet with the Coast Guard for a very short time. Chris is a veteran, and we often don't know our veterans, Stephen, unless they're wearing a hat, and we get to say thank you to them at a restaurant. When you're a police officer, we certainly know that you're on the job and doing this, but otherwise, unless you're letting us know with some garment, we really don't know that you're out there to say thank you to. So this is a great way to give back to the families that are often forgotten about after the person's service is done, or if they've fallen. So, you
know, that is the thing, Kenny, is that, you know, it's one of the favorite little sayings of people's that freedom isn't free. And there is a big cost for the people, not just for the soldier who lost his life or her life in battle, or ended up losing a leg, or whatever it was, that whatever sacrifice they ended up making. It's the impact that has on everyone around them, on their wife, on their children, on their family. Yeah. And that's the thing that makes the Folds of Honor such a noble cause, as Bill described it in your letter, is that it goes to help the most helpless of all the victims, which is the children of these people who are noble enough themselves to put their lives out there on behalf of their country and to keep our country the wonderful free country that it has always been.
Yeah, and you know, it brings a little more truth. Like Kenny said, I am a veteran myself, but I'm on the other side of it now. My daughter is currently serving. She's active duty Air Force right now, and she's pregnant with my grandson.
And I want her name on here, Gianna
Couch.
Gianna Couch.
Yeah, or Chisholm. Sorry, she got married. I'm sorry, my last name's Couch, so she's married. Her last name's Chisholm. But yeah, she's pregnant with my grandson. So you know, there's another child of an active duty member, and it just happens to be really close to home. So I'm on the other side of that fence now. So yeah, it's a very noble and cause you guys have there.
Well, we're getting such great support. You know, we welcome more. Obviously, you always want to keep upping the ante if you can.
Always.
And so, you know, if I could, I'd just like to give out Bill Dickinson's number to anyone who might be interested in.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
absolutely. And if there's a website connected to this too, Stevie, we want that as well.
Sure. Bill's phone number is 717-856-2454. And that's Bill Dickinson, 717-856-2454.
And they would call him to get registered or to donate or anything else that was asked for.
Exactly. Or you could call Spessard Holland Golf Course. And the Spessard Holland Golf Course has its own website, and there will be information on that about the Folds of Honor as well. But it's a really great cause. It's one that, you know, I'm so proud of our community for embracing in the way that they have done. And I'm, you know, grateful for a few minutes of your time to talk about it. You know, I just wanted to say that my first car was a giant boat of a Fury 3.
Hey, right. Look, Chris and I were talking about the old Plymouth the other day.
Yeah,
so
we were looking at one, actually. Yeah,
that is awesome.
I had a big giant Fury 3, and I was working at the school, and we were raising money for a scholarship for the school. And the way we did it was sell Krispy Kreme donuts with your Sunday morning newspaper. So
you make some money doing that.
Sunday morning, I drove that giant boat of a Fury 3 down to Alexandria, Virginia, and loaded it up stem to stern with Krispy Kreme donuts and brought them back to high school.
And you could wipe a donut shop out with that car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my car story.
I love that. No, I love that, Stephen. I love that so many people that are average Joes have this story behind them. There are so many people that are gearheads, and we didn't even know. You can't tell them they don't wear a shirt that says it, so you don't really know. So I love that, Stephen. I appreciate you wanting to come on and let us help bring some knowledge and information to this. And I am going to ask you one more time if this is the contact info for Bill. Give that number again.
717-856-2454. Bill Dickinson.
And we can put that in the description down below.
Yeah, we sure will feed that into our description on the podcast for everything else. Stephen, all right, thanks. Look, I almost want to see I can get out there and visit y'all during that November match and see how it goes and shake some hands and kiss some babies or something like that, all right?
That'd be great, man. Take care, you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it.
Right. Yeah, take care of yourself.
Right.
Hey, everybody, thank you so much for joining in for that. Stephen Proctor, I appreciate him giving the time to hang on the phone and come out with us and talk for a few minutes about something that I do donate to through the auto repair shop, but it is something that we believe in. I just told a customer today, I don't do senior discounts at Dolphin Auto. I don't do veterans discounts. We just give good, clean, honest service at a good, fair price, so everybody gets treated equally. But the servicemen and women, Chris, it's funny that you really don't know who they are unless you go out and you see them wearing a hat where you get to tell them thank you or something like that.
Yeah, it's true. And I don't wear that stuff.
No. Well, it's a selfless job. I mean, it's you're not doing it for you or the glory or gratification. It's in your heart.
You know, when people do find out, they say thank you for your service, and they say it was my honor. It was my honor to be able to do it. I know there's many people. I've met many people that wanted to and were unable to for medical reasons or whatever the case may be. And so it was truly my honor to be able to do it. Because there's others that can't.
Yeah. I was a punk, so I didn't think that a guy screaming at me at 4:00 in the morning, calling me a scumbag or a maggot was the way to really get into life. So
it's not an easy job.
So I opted out.
It is not an easy job.
No, but I sure do appreciate you for doing that. It means a ton to me in the world and everything else. I mean, you guys have put something out there selflessly that has allowed us to continue the freedom that we've got today. So kudos to all the military people and everything else. We love you so much and all of that. So I guess this is where we get into the meat of the show.
Yeah. What are we talking about today?
So we here in Florida, we are on the East Coast. We're right about dead middle of the state. We're about 40 miles south of where Cape Kennedy is, Cape Canaveral and all that. I am from St. Petersburg, Florida. More locally, I am from Reddington Shores, which is a small town on a barrier island in between Treasure Island, Madeira Beach, Johns Pass, Indian Shores, and all that stuff.
On the Gulf Coast.
On the Gulf Coast. And this West Coast area got hit by the outer bands and floodwaters of Hurricane Helene that came through, and it caused a lot of problems for everybody. It became a story for us for several reasons. My wife, Tiana, is from Asheville, North Carolina, where this storm came in through the panhandle of Florida, went north, turned west for some odd reason that storms don't normally do. But I think it saved Asheville because the rain was on the west side of the storm. But Asheville got hit, decimated. We're talking 30 and 40 feet of water in lower areas. Tennessee got hit as well, that eastern corner. I saw a rural hospital, 7 floors went underwater, and they rescued 50 people off the roof. But what the story brings to us, there's car stories here, but there's
the personal side of it.
The personal side that I'm over here on the East Coast, and we had some wind, never lost power, never had a flooded road, anything. But my tears were flowing and my heart was bleeding for my friends and my sister, my families, and everything that were over there that I couldn't do anything about. It was. It pissed me off that I couldn't do anything because I couldn't contact anybody. And when it came time to load a generator or some saws or whatever, get over there, and the brothers came out. Everybody started pulling out. As soon as the thing subsided and waters came down, everyone came out and started helping everybody, just like America should be every damn day. Let me say it again. We should all band together every day. That's as far as I'll go with that. But everybody suffered and everybody lost a lot. The story that we're going to bring into this is that we saw cars sink. sit there and get flooded. And what happens to all these cars? We're going to do a little follow-up in the next show or two as to where these cars go when they get pulled from the insurance company. Are they going to Copart? Are they going to auction? Is there people out there that are buying them by the masses from insurance companies and then cleaning up and selling them, or just breaking them down for parts? I think very few at the beginning get crushed, but at the end, anything that has a salvage title is always able to be resold. But what we saw, and we're going to jump back into this thing that American Car Classics is not on board with. It's a pushed agenda. And that is the EVs.
Electric vehicles, for those that don't know what EV is. Chris, my daughter didn't know what EV stood for. So I had to tell her electric vehicle.
Well, it's just a couple digits down from ET. And I'm a big ouch fan, stuff. But it isn't anything to do with an extraterrestrial. This is an electronic vehicle.
Yeah.
And
we really let them down.
We kick them on the show because we're combustion type of engine guys and all that stuff. However,
I'm not an EV hater. I think there is a place for them.
There is.
I don't think they need to be the only vehicles on the road.
No, this California going out crazy Gavin Newsom stuff where that's going to ban it all and make a pizza delivery guy buy a $50,000 electric car that he can only drive on Tuesdays and Thursdays because charging stations are odds or evens. It's just too much. The infrastructure wasn't built for it, Chris. It's not ready for it.
And so we're not EV haters.
No.
To the extreme.
And let's jump out there and say that the hybrids.
Yeah, I love those.
All three of us, Bryce, hybrids.
I love my hybrid. I love my hybrid.
And if you don't know where Bryce got his hybrid, go back 2 shows and I think you'll find it. And how he got recognized into this and went car shopping the day after one of our shows.
He did,
is incredible. But the hybrids, we believe, are the future. We believe that hybrids do work. We do believe the E-Ray and things like this do make it happen and are right.
Yep.
However, the electronic vehicles that were not able to be taken out of refuge in harm's way of this storm sat there and they got flooded out. And what happened?
They caught on fire.
Are you surprised by that?
Yep. So then there's a news article. I saw it yesterday, a day before.
Yeah.
Saltwater and EVs don't mix. Apparently the salt water corrodes the batteries so terribly. If it doesn't catch on fire, then it corrodes and then the battery capacity drains and it's not a good thing. And living in Florida, I mean, the coast is right there. You could throw a football,
That's right.
Let's see. I think we got a piece of video here.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Look at that. This is in somebody's garage.
Yeah. And you see the wheels are submerged.
Yeah,
they're not more than a third underwater. So this is just hitting that battery on the bottom. We're not talking corrosive principles that take a time period of anything other than salt is in the water. It's there as a catalyst. It activates this and poof, you've got a fire. And obviously this started you can see the hottest flame is in the bottom and pulled it up.
Yep.
And this house burnt down.
The whole house burnt. I didn't know that.
Yeah. The house burned down.
Nobody could get to it.
Nobody could get to it.
Well, the firefighters are taught that if it's an EV fire, you just stand back and wait till it burns itself out. There's no way to put out a fire from a battery like this.
Well, they do, but it takes 25,000 gallons to do it, as where a normal car fire takes 4,000.
Wow.
And it is not effective for them to do. So they sit there and they let them burn out.
So considering what we just saw, how smart is this driver?
Wow, but you think it's a truck. It's got height, 20-inch wheels.
Didn't they talked about ground clearance and you can do everything in the Cybertruck and this, that, and the other. Man, I don't.
But he doesn't know, and he wasn't told he doesn't know. And that could be fresh rainwater inland that was not going down from storm drains. So that could not be saltwater activated anything, Bryce. He may be okay.
But it's still water getting to a battery.
It is still water getting, not just the water, but the corrosion. And how about the fact that these batteries aren't sealed that very well?
Well, and a lot of people know, and I know there's Tesla lovers that just love everything Tesla, and I get it. I mean, as far as an electric vehicle goes,
look, man, their torque is incredible.
But their build quality, and it's been poor for years. I mean, people show you door gaps and how it'll go from narrow to wide and seals falling off. Google on you or just search on YouTube the Cybertruck quality issues. There was a guy, he had his Cybertruck for one day. His sprayer wasn't working for his windshield wiper, and it was just leaking on the bottom of the car. It wasn't even connected to the thing on the windshield. I mean, their build quality just isn't the best.
Well, here again, the agenda of pushing a car out before it's done. Back in the day, they used to have, well, you're wearing a Mustang Performance shirt there, Mr. Bryce of Ford Performance. And I know that Ford had a test track. I knew a guy that used to drive them, doing R&D out on the Ford test tracks. Those things are gone. This is the day of the cell phone where you build it, you push it out, and you let the consumer figure out your quirks or pros and cons.
It is, yeah.
Stuff. And
then they sell you the solution to it.
Then they say, and that's so. We just wanted to talk a little bit about that because I think that from this hurricane alone in Florida, we read that there were 6 EV fires. I do know that one that we showed you a video of took the house down. I don't know that homeowners insurance is going to cover that or not. It'd be something for it. Here in Florida, we already have a homeowners insurance crisis going on, and I can't imagine that this storm is going to help that crisis anymore. But we read just the other day that Ford told 180,000 hybrid owners to not park your car inside while they look for a repair on one of their circuits or systems.
They absolutely did. They said, put your car outside and don't charge it in the garage.
Yeah. And recalls are nothing new to cars. I mean, the recalls would go on forever and ever. They're technical service bulletins. We call them TSBs, or a recall when it comes up. In our Dolphin Auto has Mitchell 1, which gives us a support icon that flashes when we enter a VIN, and it tells us there's a recall notice. We can inform the customers about it immediately, so they can go out and go ahead and get that taken care of, or let us go ahead and call the dealership, get it taken care of for them. But they're
normally not going to burn your house down, though.
They're not going to burn your house down. No, there's a couple things.
I've had some recalls before, but nothing ever told me to park outside.
No, some ignitions. Well, I remember one Ford, then I'm not passionate on Ford, Bryce, but they had an ignition issue that did cause some cars to start on fire. But it was never a thing of don't park your car inside because. And you just went out and bought, what does a Tesla cost? Well, what does a Tesla 3 years ago cost? Because they're different now. But they're 60 grand?
60, 70, I guess,
70,
depending on what you get.
You got to buy a new car. You got a garage. You don't want to park it outside unless your garage is full of your golf cart and golf clubs and other stuff that you may have. But you want to pull it into your garage and keep it. You want to beat the elements and get inside and stay warm. Keep
and charge it.
And to charge
you got to charge it, right?
Oh, so there's another one that Chris just pulled out of the hat. Now you're going to charge this EV that you've got that box inside your garage. And you've got that 4.5 foot long cable that goes from your box to your charger.
Yep.
Now you got to park it outside. How am I charging that? Are you giving me, is Tesla giving me a 22-foot cord?
Oh, man, they get you a little solar panel and
how long is that going to charge?
Get you a gas generator.
On a rainy day.
The gas generator is going to charge your Tesla.
We get into fun, but seriously, it was something that struck me off of this disaster that became show worthy through the fact that these cars were catching on fire and causing a catastrophe on top of a catastrophe. So
it was really bad, and especially Asheville, where you couldn't get in or out. Nobody could get in to help people. People couldn't get out to escape.
All the bridges were gone.
The bridges were gone. I saw it in the news today that I-40
and I-26 too, right there.
The I-40 is going to be closed till September of next year.
I think we got it.
And then the 25 is going to be shut down till March of next year. And I think those are both very conservative estimates.
Conservative. I know
I would expect delays with that. I mean, and they were even saying on some parts of I-40 they can't rebuild it.
No, it's
where it initially was.
Below.
Yeah,
they have to demolish the mountain
have to move.
and then bring it back in more, or reroute it completely around another.
That's what they were saying. They're going to have to completely reroute certain sections of those highways because where it was built, they cannot rebuild in that area.
Yeah. Yeah, I initially heard that there were 300 roads destroyed in the Asheville area, and I go there now a couple times a year with Tiana for family and all this, and we head up to Chattanooga, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But
it's a soft spot for a lot of us here in Florida. I mean, we love going to the mountains. I am from Tennessee. I am a Tennessee Vol. Go Big Orange.
We're going to say SEC keeps us together, but otherwise, I'm a Gator guy.
So obviously, Knoxville is in those mountains. Yeah. Knoxville, thankfully, didn't get hit nearly as bad.
No.
But being from Tennessee, I'm from West Tennessee, but yeah, man, it's close to home for us, even though we're not from there.
Yeah.
So it does impact us a little bit here.
Well, we got some pictures of what was going on in North Carolina.
Yeah, so that's a Napa that we went on. Now that Napa, look, we went on tour for that in our motorhome over the summer, and I bought a starter from that, or a battery from that Napa, and that is Interstate 40. That is Interstate 40 coming off of 26 right there in Asheville. And the house that you showed was a guy named Seth who's just bought that house. And there's a place called Ichiban, which is a hibachi Japanese style steakhouse that Tiana and I eat at regularly. And right there, North Carolina Highway 9.
There's Biltmore House.
Ichiban's gone. There's a picture that you might load and do, and this right here, that is Biltmore. That's
Biltmore Village. Yep, and it was.
And you talk about, man, there was an arts district there, and there was this, man.
I think we got a drone video of this area. This guy was flying his drone through there, and it was just terrible.
It hurts because the Asheville area is where do Floridians go to retire? Where
do they go to vacation?
Right. It's
so many people go up to Asheville. I have colleagues that have property up in there, and they're trying to build their home right now.
Yeah.
Their retirement home.
Yeah.
People go to Gatlinburg.
Yes.
Gatlinburg, while not nearly as bad as Asheville, it has a lot of damage from mudslides and things like that. So, I mean, there's a lot of Floridians that go there for vacation.
A year ago, I bought 3 acres right out in between Greenville and South Carolina and Clemson University, and I have no idea what. There was a house on it. We'll see what's up and everything else. But no, it's just... It tears my heart apart to see these pictures and images.
That I mean, we talk about the cars of it. The cars are obviously very secondary to everybody's homes and livelihoods.
And I mentioned this guy, Seth, that is a friend of Tiana's from growing up, and he's got a 70 Nova, 69 Nova. He's very proud of it, built it up and had it for a long, long time. And Tiana said, look, this is his house. He and his wife just bought it not too long ago. I don't think anybody up there, Chris, has flood insurance.
Well, yeah, why would you?
Why would you?
You're on top of a mountain.
And this is, I said, ask him about the Nova, and she reluctantly did. We haven't heard back from him on it because, I don't know if you take your wife and kid or what you do, but I'm a car guy, and I asked what happened to his car and everything. This was hard. So Asheville is where Tiana's family is from, and we go back there quite a bit. It is such a beautiful area, and to see this is horrible. I hope that, and I know that there was a registration list of missing people that was 600 plus long, and we hope that everybody finds who you were looking for and get some closure in it, whether it was good or bad. We pray for you all and hope that you get the closure that you desperately deserve and need. So, and
talking about Americans coming together, I saw a picture today. There's that drone right there. I mean, it's amazing. Look at the waters under this. How close it is under this bridge. It's ridiculous. But what I was talking about, Americans coming together. I saw it on socials today. The government and the people who normally build roads can't get in there right now to build roads.
No.
So there's a bunch of good old boys with backhoes, and they're out there clearing what would be obviously temporary roads at the moment.
Yeah, and I don't know how much we want to get into this angle on it, but those guys are also risking arrest apparently because the authorities don't want anybody but the authorities to
and I get it from a legal standpoint, and that's where lawyers just need to.
But you remember the hurricane a year ago, and those guys, the boat brigade that came out, and they were rescuing people. They had boats lined up on trailers a mile long down the interstate, waiting to get into Texas to help them out, and the law enforcement helped them get those boats out to search and rescue. They were undermanned and everything else in this catastrophe. So
I think that's where litigation just goes out the window.
Yeah,
you're looking out for what's the betterment of the society. You're trying to get people out, or you're trying to get help in. And yes, while it's not a permanent road or a permanent solution, it's a way to help your fellow man. So
yeah,
I mean, you got helicopter pilots flying insulin around. You got a lot of private efforts right now, and they're just saying, "Screw it, go ahead and arrest me. We're going to take care of these people because the help is not coming from."
Hope the judges throw it out.
I was going to say, I can't imagine a judge taking this into his courtroom and saying anything, but hey, thank you for your service. I'm sorry that we wasted your time here.
Look at this poor town. Look how cute that small town is.
Yeah.
It is now a river.
Well, Tiana's grandfather, Dave DeVoyd, and his wife, Julie, live up on a mountain there. And so they had a tree down and some stuff. But Dave's daughter, Tiana's mom, Pam, and her man, Kevin, and their son, River, live down in I think it's Canton, and it's low. And we didn't hear from them for a few days. And it was pins and needles in our house for several days, not knowing where and what. And we were part of that missing persons list for them and stuff. And finally, thank God, we got a phone call and we found out that they were all okay. But the anxiety that you get seeing the images in your living room while you're dry. I mean, I'm eating a hamburger and I got a pool out back and I could go swing or mow the yard and this is going on and you want to go, hey, I'll load the truck up and go. I've got friends on the West Coast. I could probably go help quicker, closer. This place needed it more. The roads you can't get in. You can't get to them. If you think you can, then Bryce, you run the risk of getting arrested.
And there comes a point if you don't have, a helicopter or backhoes, things like that.
Are you creating more?
You're creating more issues.
Yeah.
Like I tell my kids sometimes when they try to help me, and it's like you're helping too much.
Yeah.
Right. You're just doing too much, and you're making it worse with your kindness. And I think this is where I can help with money.
Yeah. That's right. You donate to Red Cross with this. I believe firmly in a Red Cross and Salvation Army. The National Guard is there in each state to help local agencies in times of this, that they're called up by their governor, and I'm sure they have been, and I'm sure that they are in place and doing what they can do with their vehicles and their manpower.
I got to add a counterpoint to what you just said, because years ago I looked into it, and one of the problems with the Red Cross is they take in a bunch of money and they bank most of it when there's a disaster like this. So I would actually recommend, you got to vet these things because there's a lot of shysters, there's a lot of scammers.
Yes, sir.
But I would recommend finding other local groups that are there on the ground. I'm not a fan of giving money to the Red Cross just so they can throw it into a bank account and not have it actually go to help the situation that people think they're donating.
Yep, do your research, see where your money goes, make sure it goes to pallets of water and food. And
yeah.
I know there's a lot of food trucks showed up out there.
We can jump off track for a second and tell you, I owned a shop over in Clearwater, Pinellas Park called Auto Clinic of Pinellas, and we were filed a lawsuit against by Red Cross because the auto clinic had a car, and I designed a Red Cross, the car going into and coming out of, and they sued me for trademark marks that I was my Red Cross was, and I won, but how horrible. So anyway,
You'd think they'd want the advertisement.
Yeah,
they're an interesting operation.
Right. Salvation Army. And like Bryce says, big one, whoever the people that are there getting the water in, the
water,
the foot soldiers out there, the food trucks, they're coming.
Gasoline. Yeah. There's a lot of people living on generators still now. And you live on generators for a few days, you're going to run out of gas.
Well, and Dave DeVoyd said that when he got down to a gas station, everything is cash.
Yep.
So before the storm, if you didn't have the cash, hey, let's talk 10 years from now when we're talking cyber currency. We won't do that. Okay.
That's why you always want to have cash on hand. We got one more clip of North Carolina here.
Yeah. Look at that. Just moving cars.
Yeah. Well, you can drown in 3 inches of water, but 3 feet of water will lift and move a car. And if you think you can drive and navigate a roadway with 3 feet of water on it, you're wrong. You may get lucky, but you are wrong. And if you think a road that looks like it hasn't been washed out is still structurally strong underneath,
it'll fall, it'll collapse under you. Like you saw that one right in front of Napa, where the thing just opened up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a fair thing to really emphasize as a car community that this is not a situation you want to attempt to render help with 4 wheels. If you don't have something that has a rotor on top and that can land in a meadow or on a rooftop,
stay home.
Just like you said, send your money to somewhere that you have vetted that is actually helping out people.
Yeah.
And this last one here, this is pretty crazy.
Oh, this was
this is breaking the banks and any home that you think is going to withstand that, you're dead wrong.
I'm sure that person heard something weird Went outside to see what that sound was.
Yeah.
And talk about a flash flood.
Yeah, and I know this Wendy's is right to the left is an Ingalls.
That's
and
the Biltmore Village.
yeah, that's Biltmore Village.
Man, that's terrible. Look at that water moving.
And you can see the current. I mean, it's creating a white cap like its own little dam structure there.
Yep.
Massive.
An incredible amount of water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
this lady was stuck. They told her like to get out. I saw this on socials, but yeah, she's like they told me to leave, and I didn't, and now I don't know when I can leave.
And there's a car that just went by, trunk up.
And yeah, so she's stuck in her house, and hopefully it doesn't get any higher for her.
Yep.
It was obviously days ago, so I'm sure she's fine now.
Yeah.
Since she posted it.
No, right. So, to all the people that have been affected by this, our love and prayers go out to you all. We do pray for you to recover from this somehow, some way, and rely on your community, rely on your local churches. Always keep your faith in God because He can get you through some things that you may not know that you can actually get through. It is this time of year, each year for the last 5 years, that Tiana and I have taken our 70 Nova. Her name is Lucy, and we have taken her up to Chattanooga every October for this amazing event called the Chattanooga Motorcar Festival. This is something that I learned about from a good friend of mine, Todd Byron, who is great friends, has a great customer who's become a great friend named Byron DeFore. And Byron DeFore, the DeFore brothers, they have taken over Chattanooga. They have rebuilt Chattanooga, downtown in particular. The Westin is the #1 hotel in the country. And they put on this festival for car people, but for families, there is a family zone. But this Chattanooga Motorcar Fest, this is 5 years going on now. And as I said, it's hosted by Byron DeFore and the DeFore brothers. It is sponsored by Millennial Bank. It goes on this year from October 11th to the 13th. I am not going to go this year with Tiana with all the stuff that's been happening here and everything else locally and in Asheville. We're not going to try to navigate that. There's one more reason that we'll get into at the end of the show about that. But I wanted to talk about the Chattanooga Motorcar Festival because it does do a lot. It has the mainstay, the main reason that it's there. It makes money for neurological research. They have teamed up with the local hospitals there, and they are doing amazing things. They got a shout out 5 years ago to 100 hospitals in the country. And one of them was Holmes Regional here in Melbourne. And my dad had a stroke at the age of 92. And we took him in and they said, listen, we've got this miracle drug, 45 minutes, anything shorter than 45 minutes, you can give him this and it will reverse everything that happened in a stroke. My dad had a DNR, a do not resuscitate order. We went in there and my mom said to me, Kenny, what do we do? And I said, listen, screw that DNR, give him that shot. Let's see what happens. And it fixed 99% of everything. His trach was left paralyzed. He didn't want to live on a feeding tube, so he opted for hospice and subsequently passed 8 days after that stroke. But that miracle drug I knew nothing about. Less than a month later, I went for my first time to the Chattanooga Motorcar Festival. I'm sitting there at the gala presentation, and I'm listening to these doctors talk about this drug, and I got this incredible warmth through my body because I knew where the inception point was for this drug that was going to be there to help save lives. And I'm a former firefighter and paramedic, and it meant a lot to me to know that people are out there trying to cure something that I saw it firsthand work. And I was able to get up there and talk to those doctors firsthand about their drug and say, thank you for the opportunity of life. It is amazing. So if you're ever in the area of Chattanooga, Tennessee in October, I urge you, look up the Chattanooga Motorcar Festival. They've got a racetrack. It's the Big Bend, and they've got the full downtown. They do live music. Last year, the B-52s played there.
Really? That's cool.
They have a concourse d'elegance that is second to none. for even anything you could get out in California.
Exotics out there.
This year they have a 2-day road rally. They have Ferrari of Atlanta that will be bringing out and displaying several of their cars from their collection. Mecum Auctions has come on board 3 years ago, and they've been out there. The Spectacular Showstoppers is the Concourse d'Elegance, as I spoke about, second to none. I mean, this thing is fabulous. They have a 2-night street party, a festival with live music, like I said, and a laser light show. The DeFore brothers, they go all out. Friday night from 5 to 9, they've got a Porsche air-cooled collectibles are all out on display. Bryce, I'm telling you, we'd go goo gaga over this stuff because the cars are incredible. You're showing a Bill Elliott race car that somebody has brought out, and they actually do the racing on this. Corky Coker from Coker Tires and Honest Charlie's Garage brings out their collections of brassies. And I know there's some video of some brassies on there. And I didn't know much about brassies, but knowing Corky and talking to Corky, and I'm going to tell you after this event, Bryce, we're going to get Corky on here. We're going to talk about how it went down. If you all think that I could talk fast, that I talk a lot, wait till you meet Corky Coker.
So these are brassies?
Yeah,
right
these
here?
are brassies. And what they are is they're pre-1924, I think it is, where everything was kind of, all the cooling systems and all this stuff was made of brass. Big horn ornaments, thermostats built on them and everything else. And they are beautiful. And these guys, they fix these cars on the spot. They're driving, they're having fun, they're doing this. It's a labor of love for them. They have a big fundraiser
really cool.
dinner party that they do, and it raises each dinner plate is $5,000. At least that's what it was last year, and it is incredible. And let me tell you that going out there, they have a family fun zone, and the whole town of Chattanooga is open, and they've got a riverfront. We hope that it's going well down on that part right now. But I want to tell you,
is that going on right now?
it starts on the 11th.
Okay.
So that's next weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, not this coming weekend, but the next.
Yep.
So celebrities that I have met personally, I bring out a guitar or a statue of a Corvette or things like this. I bring out stuff and I get signed by people. And another story into one of those. But people that I have met out at Chattanooga Motorcar Festival: Ray Evernham, Bill Elliott, Wayne Carini, Jim Pace, who was a great race car driver who passed away from COVID after the first year. Barry McGuire, Ken Squire, Chip Foose, Jeff Hammond, Ken Gross, Linda Vaughn, Miss Hurst, Brian Johnson of AC/DC. He and I were sitting talking, and we got yelled at by Byron DeFore for talking too much. Brian Redman, Formula One racer, David Hobbs, Lynn St. James, Corky Coker, Keith Martin, Bob Versa, and some more. And that's just talking about people that I got to meet during the event. And there are no stops. It is just so much fun. So I
Get a chance, go.
Yeah, I love the
Makes
event.
me want to go.
I
now.
love the event, and I wanted to talk about it real quick because it is super cool. Super cool.
And if you haven't been to Chattanooga, it is a really cool place to go to.
Well, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Right at the base of the mountain.
Yeah. And the Westin has a bar on the top floor that overlooks the mountains that it's just spectacular. It is
Especially this time of year right now, too.
I got to see the changing of the leaves.
Yeah, there ain't nothing more beautiful than the changing of the leaves.
Leaves this big.
Yeah.
And they just, every vibrant color from green to brown that goes red, orange, in between. And people plan for months to go up and capture, but you never know what Mother Nature's going to do. So you're 2 weeks early or 2 weeks late. Your reservation is what it is.
Yep.
You hit it or you miss it. And I've been blessed to see it. And I thank
People want to know where that Tennessee orange comes from. That's where Tennessee orange
Is that
comes
right?
from. Yeah.
Is
yeah.
it?
Tennessee orange, yeah.
I had no idea.
Absolutely.
All right.
The Orange Mountains of Tennessee in the winter. Football season.
Yeah. Which it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Football time in Tennessee.
I'm a Gators fan and I'm a Bucks fan. That's just how it is.
Yeah. I don't blame you. You're from Florida. You're
yeah.
from that side.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I love them Las Vegas Raiders. I've enjoyed the Raiders for a long time, and John Gruden was coaching for a while, former Bucks coach. And
I hear he's getting back into coaching.
Is he?
That's what I
Good,
heard.
because that stuff was bullshit. That was reading somebody else's emails and everything else. I don't even know.
I didn't get it. I don't care enough to even read the stories.
No?
I feel like it was I think he was attacked.
Well, I'm
personally.
dyslexic, so I don't read a lot, but I watch ESPN, and if you watch Days of Thunder, you know that Tom Cruise learned to drive a SOT car by watching ESPN. It can be done. It can be done. I've got a race car out there. I'm going to build that thing.
Teach
and
you
go race
everything
it.
you need to know.
That's right. Everything except how to not burn a tire out in 24 laps.
Yeah.
That's what a crew chief is for.
Delete your old emails.
Right. This was a cool show.
I think so. Did you guys think so?
Yeah, that's what's going to matter. Look, we normally do a little bit more on cars. We normally do some tech talk, and we bring in people that help us out, Meekum people or whatever else, and give us more information than we can just bring to you.
Yeah.
They're the experts in the field. So it is important to go back what Chris wanted to talk to you all at the beginning of the show about, which was we're only here to bring you stuff that you want to see. So if you liked us enough, and if you like the format enough, then hit a like button.
Even if you didn't, still hit the like button. It really costs them nothing.
Like if they spilled their Coke and they just hit it by accident, at least they hit like.
Oh no, I liked it.
But if you want to write to us, Bryce, we've got some ways that you can contact us. I have a cell phone that's a hotline.
Well, we could put all that in the description.
Yeah, we're going to get rid of that hotline because I think that it's old school. And I don't know that people pick their phone up and call and go, "Hey, Kenny, I want
No,
to
they
go
don't.
my car." So
I asked my daughter to call somebody. Now, this is the one that's grown and in the military.
Gianna, okay.
She hates calling people.
Oh.
Hates it more than anything in the world. It's the different generation.
Yeah.
She'd much rather message somebody.
Yeah.
So message us.
I do talk to text, and I tell you what, if I do it in my car, I'm still going to crash. Even though I'm not sitting there texting, I'll do talk to them. I'm still going to crash because I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. Cell phones are a big distraction. I know the convenience value of it, but they're a distraction. So
I'm in my car. I'm not replying.
Okay.
I just.
You know me. I can't say no to anybody. I have the
can't.
hardest time saying no. So please don't make me go away. I want to be here for a long time. I want to turn gray and go bald in this chair. I do want to end the show today, Chris, on a note that is again personal, and I think it's incredible the way the things play out. You don't anticipate doing a show like this ever, and then you think you're able to bring some comfort or closure to somebody that maybe was missing something through a show like this. And before I get into this little snippet here, I'll even go one step further and talk about mental health, because so many of our homeless are veterans.
22 a day. This is a Veterans Foundation for 22 a day. Mental health awareness for veterans.
Wow.
That's what this bracelet is right here.
Wow.
Yep.
I've known you. I don't even know. I didn't even know that. I've never asked you. We never talked about that.
Yep.
I have a friend that committed suicide the other day at 55 years old, 65 years old. And I don't understand why he didn't call me or anybody else. And we deal with our homeless population, and they're making new laws here in Florida where they're regulating where you can or can't sleep. And it's illegal for a cop to pass by a panhandler and not arrest them. And it means so much. I'm not that big into the panhandling thing, but I believe that we could do a lot more for our homeless veterans and for the people that suffer from depression. So if you've got somebody, if you know somebody, if you need something, reach out, call, contact, communicate. It takes you a couple of seconds to say, "Hey, are you okay? Do something, try something." You live with regret if you don't. And if you're dealing with the depression, if you're that person sitting here watching me and you don't know who to reach out to, who to call, there are crisis hotlines. Maybe you think they're a farce, but there's a human being on the other end that has dedicated time to talk to you about something. And if it's not worth living another day, at least you feel that right now, maybe that one person, that stranger that's donating their time can change that for you. Hell, I'm going to do this. 321-288-5547. That's my personal cell phone number. You got a problem? I dare you. Call me. My ringer, I don't turn it off at night. Okay? So with that, I'm going to close the show out, Chris, with some more hard news that my family had to face this week. Tiana Devoid, by law, we're not married. I wear a ring proudly. I love her. She is my best friend and my world around me. She calls me her person, and I call her my world. her great uncle, who is Dave Devoid, is her grandfather, and he's become a great friend of mine. He and his wife Julie are such classy people, and I would go to the end of the earth for them. But Dave has a brother named Danny, and Danny. That's his wife, Vicky. Danny passed away on the 28th of September, not related from the storm, at least as far as we know, because autopsies for people over 55 and natural causes cost $10,000, and that's just ridiculous. He started getting sick during the storm, stress-related, stroke-related. We don't really know. His wife was able to, after several hours of trying to figure out how to do and what to get and all this, got him to a medical center that was packed. They put him in a wheelchair, and he passed away in that wheelchair in the ER waiting for service. So I want to just talk about him for a second. Danny would come down in his camper with his wife, Vicky, a couple times a year. They'd bring their motorcycle, and they would cruise, and they loved cookouts and food and family. He worked for the Department of Transportation for North Carolina. He was a volunteer firefighter for 29 years. He's got 3 kids, 4 kids, Drew, Daniel, Delina, and Buffy Marie. And 70 years old is too short. And I wanted to make sure that he was talked about for a second, that I could say to the family that I only met him a few years ago, and he made a difference in my life. And Vicky, I love you, and everything's going to be okay because you've got family, and this happens. We hated that it happened so close to home. But to you, Daniel Devoid, ride high and ride tight, and look down on us and protect us and take care of all that you can up there. I know that you are up in God's world, and I know that you get to embrace his glory for eternity. So to the family, I'm sorry for all the loss and the pain. Know that he's in a great place, and he doesn't hurt or suffer anymore ever, as we all will one day. All right. So God is great.
Amen.
I thank you all for tuning in and staying with us in this time frame. I don't even know how long the show is. We didn't turn our timer on for this one. Bryce, I thank you for coming out and helping out and in all the changes that, Chris, you have made over this last couple of weeks. And here you've come in on weekends and stuff with your family. And Marcy, I love you and appreciate you so much for letting him do all this.
Working on the set a little bit.
Yeah. So this is a cool hood that we had here at Dolphin Auto. It's for a 56 Chevy. The Tri-5s are so hot. And
we did an episode on the gold one.
Yeah,
if you haven't seen it, it's posted right now. Go check it out.
Yeah, we did, and then you put a little short together on that.
It's not short; it's 7 minutes.
7 minutes, right? And so there's a new little video just on that with a good friend of ours, Matt, that came out from Meekum to help us do that video as well. So
check it out. But yeah, hope you guys liked the change of scenery. If you haven't, if you've seen our show before, change of scenery, probably some more changes.
Yeah. I hate to whore myself out and say, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, leave us a comment. Those things are repetitious across the web. You are asked that by every person, and so I guess we're going to just keep doing that. But it makes a difference. Dolphin Auto sponsors this show. We have a lot of supporters like Jasper Engines and Transmissions and O'Reilly Auto Parts and Meekum Auctions, the #1 auto auction in the world. And they do care about us, and we support them as they support us. And so Chris, I appreciate you, and thank you for coming on board and doing this with us, man. It makes the show feel really good. Bryce, I love you. As always, you've been here for a long time, helping me out through thick and thin, trying to make this thing great and better. And the music that you hear on the way in and the way you hear out, this is Greg Billings, is the Greg Billings Band. He had a band called Stranger for 3 decades out of Clearwater, Florida. I grew up Greg and got to enjoy his music. 40 years of homegrown Florida music written by him, and he has given us the rights to his library. And if you like the snippet that you hear coming in and going out of this show, tune in, man, because he is badass.
I'm sure he's on Spotify and iTunes and all that stuff. Everywhere.
And he's kicking ass and playing. He's probably playing tonight out in man, maybe, some of the places he played aren't going to be there now either. Man, it's devastating to think about how much it's changed over there. We want to go, but we don't want to go. It's a catch-22 because you don't want to be in the way. I don't want to be a tourist.
Yeah, you don't want to help too much.
Yeah.
It just causes more trouble.
Yeah. All right, well, we got to end it somewhere.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Come back. This is American Car Classics Radio Podcast.